Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Liberty Call. Today is Tuesday, January 24th, 2023. Hope everybody's having a fantastical day out there in the interwebs. It's a chilly day here in Colorado. Got snow everywhere all over the ground from over the weekend, but it's not too bad outside. It's a balmy 26 according to my computer right now, so it wasn't too bad. Sorry I'm a little late. Had to go to the sheriff's office and pick up my concealed carry license that was up for renewal. So again, I apologize, to the 3 people who actually watch this on a regular basis. Anyways, if it's your first time watching, give me some thumbs up, just like George Springer's thumbs right here on my t-shirt. And give me some likes, shares, subscribes, follows, all that good stuff. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and dive into the numbers and see how things turned out today. A little more red on our screen than we had yesterday. The Dow Jones was the lone major index here in the Americas that was up. It was up 0.31% or 104 points, closed at 33,733. SP 500 was flat for the day, down 0.07, closed at 4016. NASDAQ was down 0.27, closed at 11,334. Small caps were down 0.22. The VIX fell 3.08% today. It's currently at 1920, which again, it's below the 20 number that really gives me a lot of worries. But again, I'm a little surprised seeing that the SP 500, which is what it's tied to, was also in the red, because usually they're inverse to each other. All right. Canada was flat at down 0.01. Brazil was up 1.16%. Mexico was up 0.97%. Over in in Europe, Germany was flat at down 0.07. UK was down 0.35. France was down up 0.26. The Euro Stoxx was up 0.05. Netherlands down 0.2. Is that Spain Spain up 0.26, Italy up 0.24, and Switzerland up 0.06, and Portugal down 0.56. Russian exchanges were both red today. MOEX was down 0.57, RTSI down 0.83. And the overnights in Asia, Japan was up 1.46, Australia up 0.44. The Chinese markets, the Shanghai was up 0.76, the SESC component up 0.56, the China 50 up 0.37. The DJ Shanghai was flat at 0, or was closed today. Looks like it was open. And let's see. Oh, all of these were closed today. So yeah, it doesn't look like any of these were open. Must be. Oh, it's probably the Chinese New Year. That's probably why they weren't open today. So, all right, scratch what I said about those. Those were the closing numbers that I probably read yesterday. All right. So let's go ahead and breeze through today's market recap. See what they had to say on the what was going on in the world. Stock market today, Dow rises as earnings season heats up. Microsoft Q2 EPS beats, earnings per share beats. So that's some good news there. Let's get to my notes here. All right, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had a third consecutive day of gains on Tuesday as investors evaluated a variety of quarterly results. As earnings season continues, the industrial sector led the broader market higher following an 8% surge in PACCAR after the truck manufacturing company reported quarterly results that beat on both the top and bottom lines. Defense companies also contributed to gains in the sector following strong quarterly results from Raytheon and Lockheed Martin. However, 3M Company, a major Dow component, saw a 6% decline after quarterly earnings missed estimates, and the company announced 2,500 layoffs due to a slowdown in demand. Tech was largely unchanged on the day as gains in Apple were offset by a decline in Alphabet due to regulatory scrutiny. Microsoft had a slight increase after its quarterly earnings exceeded Wall Street estimates, driven by growth in its cloud business. Bed Bath & Beyond also had a 15% increase despite being widely expected to be on the brink of bankruptcy. So that's everything as far as what's going on in the markets today. So, some good news, some bad news. The earnings season seems to be starting off with some good numbers for the most part, but we shall see what happens moving forward. All right, next article up has to do with crude, which affects everything in our lives, from driving our cars to keeping our houses heated and cooled. So next up, U.S. crude inventories up 3.4 million barrels last week, according to API. Let's go ahead and read through a synopsis of this, see what they had to say. U.S. crude stockpiles had another multi-million barrel build last week, trade group API said Wednesday, as refiners slowed down the output of fuel products amid an unseasonably warm winter. where's this warm winter? It's cold as a witch's titty here in Colorado. And I mean, it's definitely cold enough on most days to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. So I don't know where all this cold is or all this warm weather is, because it's, I mean, we've had, there's a deer coming up my driveway. It's been chilly, most of the winter. I mean, we had that really cold week around Christmas, I think, and where everything was just super cold. We had several days well below zero. But anyways, I mean, I guess, these, smart people who are always worried about the world falling apart seem to know better than we do. All right, jumping back in, U.S. crude inventories rose by 3.378 million barrels during the week that ended January 20th. The API, which stands for the American Petroleum Institute, said. In the previous week to January 13th and January 6th, the API reported back-to-back crude builds of 7.615 million and 14.865 million barrels. The API also reported also showed a 0.620 million barrel rise in gasoline stocks for the last week and a 1.929 million barrel deficit in distillate stockpiles. And distillates are where you get your diesel, kerosene, and all those sorts of things. So if they're running low, that's not a good thing. So, but it appears that things are, we're getting a buildup. So maybe we'll see some price receding at the pump and places like that. Because at the grocery store today, diesel was $4.39. I didn't have to fill up. I haven't had to fill up in probably 3 or 4 months, because I got a 50-gallon extra tank in the bed of my truck, and I filled up the main tank and then the auxiliary tank months ago, and I have not had to get gas or diesel in quite a while. So, all right. Last up, some not so good news about wholesale price inflation is slowing as the economy worsens. This comes from Ryan McMacken at the Mises Institute, is where I pulled this article from. So let's go ahead and read through this and see what they have to say. All righty. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics released new producer price data on Wednesday, which showed that the rate of increase in price inflation is slowing, but year-over-year price inflation in December remained near 40-year highs. The PPI measures prices at the production phase of goods and services in December. Year-over-year PPI growth came in at 6.2%, a 21-month low. The overall indexes showed the wholesale prices are up 17% from where they were in early 2020. So, we've been talking a lot about, it's last month we actually saw a reduction in inflation on a couple of different measurements. But, like this says, the cumulative number, it's up 17%. And I mean, that's where everything gets more and more expensive. So if you go through all those different inflation charts and you total up each month, starting back at, say, March of 2020, and total them all up through now, I mean, it's, a lot of them are in the high teens and the low 20s. So everything is just, a lot more expensive today than it was 3 years ago at this time. Let's see here. This trend reflects a similar trend in consumer price index, which is up about 15% over the same period. The 17% increase in wholesale prices outpaces the increase in which the Dow, which is up 14% over the same period. The economic data is pointing towards a slowing of an economy and recession. So not real good there either. So all these articles are linked if you want to read through them at your leisure. There's some good charts here that Mr. McMacken put in for your reading pleasure. So I suggest if you want to go ahead and read through that, feel free to do so. All right. Well, that's everything I had. Kept this short and sweet today since I am running behind. And if anyone needs anything from me, please go to dsafinancialgroup.com. All my contact information is there. You can book a meeting, drop me an email. You can even call me if you like. You can hear my dulcet tones or whatever you want to say, or however you want to put it, my voice is. But anyways, all right. Well, hope everyone has a fantastical evening, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Adios.